This is the Bates Bobcast, our weekly podcast where we take a look at the week that was in Bates athletics. My name is Aaron Morse, and this week we're taking a closer look at the men's golf team as the Bobcats won the Colby Classic on Sunday. Field hockey picked up a NESCAC win, and the football team continues to get contributions from some of their youngest players. All that and more coming up on the Bates Bobcast. The football team fell to Williams by a score of 47-14 on Saturday. The Bobcats and Eves were tied at 7 at the end of the first quarter, thanks to an 80-yard touchdown pass from first-year Brendan Costa to fellow first-year Jason Lopez. Bates trailed by 10 at halftime, but in the third quarter, the Eves pulled away, outscoring the Bobcats 23-7. Head coach Mark Harriman takes a look back at Saturday's game.
We gave up some explosive plays, made some mistakes offensively that hurt us, and really the third quarter, most of the third quarter came down to field position. I mean, they had the short field, defensively. Obviously, like I said, we gave up a big play early in the third quarter but after that, there was a lot of short field things, and we got to square that away both from the offensive standpoint with ball security, better ball security, and understanding what we need to do with football when, and then obviously our special teams as well. They had a couple of returns that hurt us as well.
In terms of preventing big plays, is that issue of the defense just being kind of young? I know there's a lot of guys who are getting their first real starting experience this year.
Yeah, it is. It's as much about guys being in position, and I think when younger guys are out there and they're not playing as fast as they probably should be because they're thinking too much maybe, that opens things up, and we need to try to, as coaches, we need to try to put them in better positions so that we don't isolate guys, especially the young guys, and we're at a point now, and like a lot of teams this far into the season, we don't have an option but to play some guys with some of the injuries we have. So these young guys are getting baptized a little bit, on Saturday when they didn't really get enough reps during the week, and that was just the nature of how the injuries kind of went to basically one position on defense.
There was one play I saw, you guys had pretty good containment on the quarterback. You were forcing him towards the sideline as he made a spectacular throw on the run. It looked like the back corner of the end zone. I mean, on those kind of plays, look like you had pretty good coverage on it too. You just kind of not much more you can do, right?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's always little things that you can critique, but you got to give them credit too when they make plays like that. It was a nice play on the quarterback's part, and it was a great catch by the receiver. He got his foot down before he was knocked out of bounds. So. Again, that's credit to them, and those things happen in a game. The problem becomes when, we don't expect to give them some of the things that we gave them on Saturday, and if we do that, then I think the third quarter becomes more like the first half, and it's a much tighter ball game.
Well, in that first half, we saw maybe a glimpse of the present and the future, where Costa connecting with Lopez, 2 first years for an 80-yard touchdown. Break down that play.
We ran 4 verts, and Brendan did a nice job looking the quarterback off and threw a very good ball. We had good protection, and Jason ran a nice route. And again, we caught them in what we thought we would with the formation, and executed the play well. We just need to execute more plays well on a consistent basis.
So Lopez, for a first year, a pretty good route runner, it sounds like.
Yeah, he does a nice job. He's done a nice job with really progressing and For a running back, technically a high school running back, he's done a really good job of learning our routes and obviously catching the ball as well.
It seems like you're easing Frank Williams back into things a little bit with that injury he's dealing with. What's his stats? I mean, I know he played, but obviously it wasn't the same impact he had the previous season.
Right. No, I think it'll get more and more each week. I mean, it's one of those injuries that Sandy had the same thing. Sandy, and he went back down and fell on his shoulder again, and that just re-aggravated his. So. I think Frank's a little further along than that, but we still, have limited him a little bit so that he's not taking the constant pounding on that shoulder. I would think within a week or two he should be back to full strength.
So Matt Golden came in, ripped off some nice runs. What do you see from him?
Matt's runs were at dive back actually. He was, we had again because of some injuries. He took some reps there during the week. Did a great job. I mean, he's one of those guys you can count on to go out and give you everything he's got. He'll make the right reads and when he's in there at quarterback. And obviously, I think he did a nice job stepping in there in an emergency situation as our dive back and had two. I think it was a 55 or 60 yard run, and then the next one was, I think, 12 or 14 yards. So he did a nice job with that.
Following up on Golden, it seems like he's such a good athlete. You could really use him almost anywhere on the field.
Yeah, well, he's he has been involved even when he was playing quarterback, and obviously he'll continue to play quarterback as well. But he's been involved in our special teams, and again, he's just one of those guys that, as I said, athletically you can put him in a lot of places, and he's going to help you. Looking
at the team as a whole, what's going to be maybe an emphasis this week in practice preparing for another road game this weekend?
Yeah, well, the road games, to me right now, it's more about us going out and competing against some really, really good teams. And it's not necessarily showing on the scoreboard. I think we've made some progress in a lot of ways. It's just it needs, and I know I've said this for 4 weeks now, it needs to be a lot more consistent. And we put a pretty good half of football together, in the first half, and again, we need to make sure that from a mentality standpoint that when we meet up with some adversity, that we're able to, one side of the ball picks the other side of the ball up, and we're able to go out and make some positive plays and get back on track.
And then, thoughts on maybe some players who impressed you from this weekend, who you're encouraged by their progress?
Yeah, I think again overall we've a lot of young guys are getting on the field, and we don't always see them in the stats because of the positions they play. But I think overall we've had some guys really step up, both in the special teams. I thought Justin Foley, who was off for a couple of weeks, as far as what we expect of him, really did a great job both with his kickoffs. Most of his kickoffs were inside the 5. And punting as well. I thought he really came back and did a nice job after that, after having, and I know he'd feel the same way, of 2 weeks that probably weren't up to what our expectations and his expectations are for that. So I thought he did a nice job coming back.
What do you know about Wesleyan coming up?
Very strong team. They've changed a little bit. They're actually leading the conference, I believe, in pass attempts and passing yardage. So that's and still have the capability of running the football. They're very explosive offensively. Their quarterbacks, again, it seems like almost every week we've hit some really quality quarterbacks, and their guy's another one. He's a guy that to me is an all conference caliber player, and has done a great job. They've had a receiver that has had a couple 200-yard reception games, so it's a challenge for us to go out and again try to not give up the type of explosive plays that have hurt us. If we can do that, then I think we'll be in a ball game.
The men's soccer team defeated Maine Maritime 2-0 on Tuesday. Sophomore Eric Opoku scored a pair of goals, including this one to seal the win.
Opoku ahead. Opoku got by the defender, one anyway. Now he's by a second. Opoku scores! A magnificent goal by Eric Opoku. Fine individual effort to beat two Maine Maritime players and score for the second time tonight. It's 2-0 Bobcats.
For me, individually, it's like just my first 2 goals in the season. So I feel like that helps me going forward into the NESCAC games. And I feel like everyone is very motivated. So the energy that we show in every single game, when we keep it going, I feel like we'll do great this year.
Over the weekend, Bates fell 3-1 at Connecticut College and lost a tight 2-1 match to rival Bowdoin. A late penalty kick ended up costing Bates in the latter match. They will look to bounce back this weekend when they host Tufts and Amherst. First years Summer Diaz and So Kim found the back of the net, but the women's soccer team came up just short in a 3-2 loss to Bowdoin on Wednesday. After a 3-0 loss at Connecticut College on Saturday, Bates bounced back in impressive fashion with a 3-0 win over Elms on Sunday. First year Elizabeth Bennett scored her first career goal.
The cross, it's loose, played away by Moline, chance not over. It's Bennett, goal! Elizabeth Bennett striking it home from 18 yards away.
3-0 win over Elms on Sunday. You got your first career goal. Describe it for us.
So Nellie, another first year on the team, was dribbling the ball along the right wing and then crossed it in. And I shot the ball with my left foot, and it went in the bottom corner past the goalie. Yeah, and I was really excited.
Yeah, I bet you were. I mean, and you know, you've got some playing time this year, right? But it must feel nice to get that first goal.
Yeah, it was really nice. I was playing more of an attacking position. I usually play defensive midfield, but I was playing attacking mid that game, so it was really exciting to get that goal. Yeah.
Terrific. And what are your impressions so far? You know, being on the team your first year of college soccer.
I love it so far. Yeah, it's been a great season so far, and I just hope we can keep that momentum going forward. Yeah, it's been really great.
All right, so tell us, you're from England, so how did you find out about Bates? What was the background there?
So I went to the American school in London, so a lot of students there go to colleges in the U.S., so yeah, I really liked Bates when I toured and decided to come here. I've never lived in the U.S., but I go to Vermont every summer, so it's not completely new for me.
You were already very familiar with New England and everything.
Yeah, very. Yeah, I have a lot of family here as well. Yeah.
Okay, terrific. So the American school in London, you mentioned a lot of people go to colleges here. So how's the program work, kind of?
Well, our high school is the American curriculum, so I'm not finding it to be too much of an adjustment, which is pretty nice. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and obviously college. I'm sure the workload is heavier, though, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But being on the soccer team makes you manage your time really efficiently. So, yeah, it's been a lot of work, but also manageable.
What are some tricks you've come up with to be able to balance, the academics and your time of playing soccer?
I just don't have any time to procrastinate. So, right after practice, a lot of people from the team just go do work together right away, just to get it done early, which has been working. Yeah.
Great. During the recruiting process, what did maybe Kelsey tell you about Bates and everything?
I was really excited to hear about Bates. She made it sound like an awesome school, which it is. Because I came and visited here in February during my junior year, so got to know a lot about the school, which I really liked, and it was really helpful to come visit and get a sense for it.
Did you get a chance to attend any soccer matches before you joined the team?
No, I didn't, but I had watched a few on the live stream, which was nice to do. Yeah.
Gotcha. What's been maybe your biggest adjustment on the soccer field, do you think?
I think definitely the speed of play at the college level is probably a big step up compared to my club and high school teams. It's a lot quicker and also a lot more physical, so I think that's been a bit of an adjustment.
I'm pretty impressed with the first-year class. I mean, it looks like, So Kim is off to a really good start. You mentioned Nellie set you up there for the goal. What are your fellow first-years like?
Yeah, it's a really great group. There are 9 of us, which is really nice. They're really nice. It's nice to have that large group to also hang out with. So it's really nice, and I think we've been doing really well, contributing to the team as a class as well.
Great. Any other thoughts on your first year so far? What you're most looking forward to the rest of the season?
I've really enjoyed the year so far. I'm really looking forward to hopefully making it to NESCAC playoffs and just keeping this good momentum going forward. Because we had lost the last 3 games, but then the win on Sunday was really great for us because we needed that win just to push us back into the winning streak. So I really hope we can make it to the NESCAC playoffs and hopefully the NCAAs.
Sounds good. Elizabeth Bennett, thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
Now it's time to talk to our Bobcats of the Week. Our female Bobcat of the Week is senior Caroline O'Reilly. She scored her second goal of the season and the first NESCAC goal of her career to help the Bates field hockey team defeat Connecticut College 3-1 on Saturday.
Yeah, well, I had actually just gotten back on the field after talking to my coach about being more offensive during this game. And so I saw the ball popping out in front of the goal and I was like, oh, this is a chance to really take the words that my coach said into action. And I just tapped it in.
It was right there for you?
Yeah, Emma Patterson and Taylor Loff had a good touch on it too and set it up just so I could just come running in.
Great. So how do you decide that with, Coach Ryder about whether you should focus more on offense or defense?
Well, we actually just switched our formation a little bit, and so now the role that I'm playing is more of an offensive midfield, which is different than what we talked about before. And so that's to just get more offensive pressure on the other team and really have more sticks in the circle shooting on net and stuff.
How are you liking the new role?
I like it a lot. Yeah, no, it's fun and it's clearly effective. I mean, we got 3 goals in our game on Saturday, and that's a huge deal for us. And I think this momentum coming on will keep us going for this coming weekend.
Yeah, this is a big week. I mean, you're playing a nationally ranked opponent Tuesday in Babson, a team that you've beaten, I think 2 straight years. Three straight years. And they've always been really highly ranked. What makes you match up so well, you think, against them?
I don't know. We get really fired up for this game. It's just, I think sometimes we can psych ourselves out with the NESCAC conference, and we know how good we are as a team. And so when we come into a non-conference game, and I'm not taking away from Babson, they're a great program, but they're not in our conference. And so when we go head up against them, that kind of pressure for the conference play is off, and we can just play as a team. And it so far so good on that one. It's really been in our favor. So.
And it must be a nice way midweek to really have a tough opponent, because that really prepares you for some tough opponents this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're all really hyped for the game, and having it on Tuesday too is we're not too far off of the momentum that we got from the weekend, so we're still really hyped up from Saturday, and I think it'll be really good tomorrow.
I know you scrimmaged Tufts before the year, so you're playing them again this week. And do you think that scrimmage helped? Or do you think you don't want to think about that too much at all?
That's a tough question. I think it definitely helped because it's always nice to see a team again, and you kind of know what you're going up to. It takes those nerves off a little bit. But that being said, we've both changed a lot as the season's gone on. I'm not assuming that they're staying the same in any way, but I think as our team we can go in being confident in our play.
How much film study does the team do of the opponents, and a lot?
Yeah, we focus a lot on the film, just studying to see who the key players are, what the key forms are, and also we take film of ourselves and watch that and see how we can improve from the last games too. So I don't know how many hours total, but we definitely put on a couple days a week watching film before practice.
What are some big takeaways you've had watching the team yourselves this year on film, because you've been in a lot of close games?
Mm-hmm. I think our biggest takeaway is that we just need to be all around more confident in finishing on the play and in ourselves. And you can see the hesitancy on the film sometimes that, honestly, in some of the games might have been the difference, that one goal difference that we lost by in a lot of the games. And so I think through watching film, we can see that we have so much talent, we're such strong players, and that as we move forward, we just have to be more confident in that sense, I guess.
Big opportunity this weekend, isn't it? I mean, it seems like, right, you have a chance to really swing the season almost.
Yeah, definitely. I think this weekend will be. It's a strong weekend. I think we'll be prepared coming off of tune-up tomorrow night's game, and then we'll have a couple more days of practice to prepare for it. And it's always nice that it's a home doubleheader, and I think I'm confident going into it.
Yeah, most of the teams are home this weekend. That's always a great environment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's so fun having the other teams being home, and we can go over and cheer on the other teams after our game's done. It's really fun.
So as a senior, kind of halfway through the year, what are you thinking right now in terms about the future and everything?
I'm trying not to think about it too much. It definitely is getting close to the end for me, and I think I've noticed that in all of the seniors' play at practice and in games. It's every practice, we don't have many left, and so every practice that we go to, we want to show up and play as hard as we can and have fun with it while we still can, because we're only going to be field hockey players for a month or so longer, and so I think that's kind of why there's a sense of urgency too on the team, because last year we didn't have any seniors, so it wasn't anyone's last season at last game, but this season we definitely are trying to kind of get through it.
Career-wise and stuff, are you looking at that at all and everything? Do you want to coach possibly?
Yeah, I could definitely see myself as a coach. That's definitely something I'm interested in. I really love the game and I love sports, and I see myself staying with sports as I get older too.
Have you talked to your some of your assistants about that? Because they're right out of college, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah. They're very young, which is really cool, and their perspective is definitely really interesting to see what they're doing, balancing it with grad school and how they're going about it. And so I think it's definitely helpful to talk to them.
Great. Well, Caroline O'Reilly, big weekend coming up. Big game Tuesday against Babson. Female Bobcat of the Week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Our male Bobcat of the Week is sophomore Andrew Garcia-Bou. He and sophomore Julian Lewin teamed up to shoot a 71, leading the Bobcats to victory over Husson, Maine Maritime, Thomas College, and Colby at the Colby Classic on Sunday. Garcia-Bou and his teammates weathered the weather to pick up the win.
The conditions, they were changing a lot throughout the 18 holes. So what was that like adjusting throughout that as a golfer?
Yeah, so it made it a little difficult because weather can affect the way the ball moves both on the ground and in the air. For the first 6 holes, it was incredibly windy, probably like 20-mile-an-hour winds. And I had a partner out there, Julian Lewin, who helped me and I helped him lead us to second place for score overall and then first place as a team. But it was really tough combating it. You had to kind of take extra time to think about your shots, and that was for the wind, and then started to rain in the middle of it, and it wasn't like a light drizzle. Like, it was a torrential downpour. And you could tell people's attitudes started to change and just, like, started to give up and just, like, not want to be out there anymore. And, like, while me and Julian had a similar attitude, we wanted to win and we wanted to keep fighting, so we did. And we had a great time doing it. And then by the end, it was sunny and it was just a difficult time adjusting, but it worked out well in the end.
Yeah, for people who don't know, the format is much different from other tournaments you play in, right?
Yeah, so usually we play in a tournament where it's just a Bates individual and then an individual from 3 other schools or 2 other schools. And in this case, the Colby Classic is done. You're paired off with another Bates member, and then you verse 2 opposing members who are also from the same school. And you do 6 holes best ball, 6 holes scramble, and 6 holes alternate shot. So it kind of brings a fun aspect to the game where it's like you have a partner, you can converse with them, you can talk about what your shots are going to be like, and then you kind of just execute them and have a good time doing it instead of just being mentally alone.
And it seems like it really fits the team well because you won it last year also as a team, right?
Yeah, we won it last year as a team. I actually didn't participate last year, but winning it 2 years in a row is definitely a good feeling. Hopefully we go for 3 next year, and I think fighting for that individual score being the top next year is our goal too.
So what was your experience like the first time participating in this?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I was excited to go out there with a partner and not be alone for once, and golf is I wouldn't say it's a lonely sport, but it's one where you're kind of in your own head and you have to calm yourself down, but having someone out there to like tell you like, don't worry, it's like one shot, or this is how you should approach this, and just have a different view of a shot or a putt or anything like it is really helpful, and it feels good.
Have you ever played that course before?
I had never played that course before. My partner had, though, so he knew it and knew where I should be hitting my shots, but I think just taking it shot at a time is always a good approach when you're playing a course for the first time.
Sure, absolutely. And then CBB this weekend, right? So I know Colby and you have had Colby and Bates have been pretty close this year, haven't they?
Yeah, Colby and Bates has been pretty decent rivalry this year. Last year they were pretty far behind us, but now they're a lot closer, and I think it's another level of competition it's enjoyable. I mean, it makes it a little more stressful. It makes you want to hit a good shot every time, and kind of it aggravates you when you don't, but like that's always in golf. But even more so when you know there's another team breathing down your neck and you want to get that victory. But it's exciting knowing that like we're in such a competitive league this year compared to like last year where they might have been a little bit behind.
And the course is in Brunswick. Have you played this one before?
Yes, I've played Brunswick many times. It's a challenging course, but it's one that I look forward to getting back to because you can improve on what you messed up last time.
Sure, absolutely. And then obviously the setup, as it was last year as well, Martindale Country Club, you're working with the pros there, Nick Likos and Kyle and whatnot. So how has you improved your game, you think, from year to year working with them?
I think year to year it's been a lot of little tweaks here and there that like both help me mentally when I'm standing over a putt, or it's like a little adjustment to a swing that helps the shot stay straight more consistently, and I don't have to worry that I'm going to be hitting the same shot shape that's like a tiny fade or a draw like that's going to get in the way and inhibit a good shot. And I think they've done a great job of making sure that if we're making an adjustment, it's not anything major that's going to mess us up on the course. It's only minor things that help us even more so.
Has to be encouraging for the team that, guys like you and Julian are making an impact as like sophomores playing with the first string, if you will, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think us two playing as a duo is definitely a great feeling. We have a great connection. We've definitely bonded as teammates, and I think we're excited to move forward as like two sophomores that will be on the team for now until we graduate.
And what are some long-term goals you have, maybe?
I think long-term goals is just improving scoring average both as a team, as an individual, and then getting more wins on the team overall too. I think that's a good goal, and I think it's a very achievable goal with the setup that we have.
I know that NESCAC Fall Qualifier every year is pretty much the toughest competition you face, right? I mean, what's it like to go up against some of those teams?
That was a whole other level because, I mean, like, while it's a very competitive league and I think we all are capable of shooting around the same scores, it's a matter of who comes out on top that day and who handled the conditions the best and who knows the course the best. And obviously whoever has the home course is going to have the advantage because they play it every day. Yeah. But I think watching teams and being a part of a team that can adapt and change is truly remarkable. And I think that it was a new experience because I didn't go to that last year either. And it's something that's exciting to go back next year, as I didn't perform as well as I would have liked to.
Mm-hmm. So chance for some motivation for next year, right?
Yes, motivation for next year all around. I think every shot can always be better. That's kind of the sad life of a golfer, is that even if you shoot like a 65, you're going to say, well, I could have made that putt, I could have made that putt, I could have done this better. But honestly, just minor improvements here and there, getting through it, fighting through it, and being excited to go back and take a championship or just improve overall as a team is something to look forward to.
All right, Andrew Garcia-Bou, our male Bobcat of the week. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
The women's golf team wrapped up its season at the Williams Fall Invitational, which doubles as the NESCAC Championships. The Bobcats placed 6th in the NESCAC and 14th overall at the event. The Bobcat volleyball team dropped a pair of heartbreakers this weekend. On Friday, they came up just short by a count of 3-2 against Hamilton, and on Saturday, Williams rallied from 2 sets down to beat Bates 3-2 as well. The Bobcats have 3 big home matches this week, starting Tuesday night when they host Bowdoin at 7 o'clock. Next time on the Bates Bobcast, we'll tell you how our nationally ranked cross-country teams do at the main state meet. The football team visits Wesleyan, and it's a full slate of NESCAC matches at home for the soccer, field hockey, and volleyball programs. All that and more next time on the Bates Bobcast.
Bates, my